comfortable seat, let's sit up nice and tall and start to focus on the breath. So for the next few breaths, I want you to breathe in as fully as you can and imagine that you're pulling that breath all the way down your torso and then using your core muscles to help exhale. And then when you feel connected to your breath, I want you to notice how you're feeling in your body and think about how you want to feel when we're done with practice. And setting the intention at your heart, possibly bowing your head and heart towards the earth. And when you're ready to begin, we're going to inhale those arms up and exhale them down. And so just moving at your own pace, inhaling up, exhaling down. And notice, like, we talked about the shoulders and the back, and notice how it feels as you move. And then we're going to inhale those arms up and exhale, one arm in front, one arm in back at your own pace. Rush at all. It's you and your breath. Keep breathing and moving one more time on each side. Okay. Now, when you've finished your second side, let's take the hands onto the thighs and make some circles with our body. And after a couple times in one direction, we'll move a couple times in the other direction. And this whole time you're noticing, how's my body feel? How is my breath moving? Now we're going to come to a place where we stop and just notice how you're feeling. I want to take a couple moments to just massage the feet with the hands. And so taking one foot onto your other leg or into your lap, just stretch out those toes. So use your fingers to help you stretch out the toes. I like to use the thumbs on the bottom part of the foot and the fingers on the top. And remember that your feet have a bunch, I can't think of the number, maybe one of you knows, has a bunch of bones, right? There are a lot of bones. So our foot is actually supposed to be one of the most flexible parts of our body. And so waking it up, of course, they get a lot of torture, right? Because they carry our weight our whole life and we're like pounding the pavement with our feet. But you're noticing how they feel. Now, eventually, we're going to lace from the bottom of the foot, lace your opposite hand into that foot and roll through the top part of the foot. And roll through the ankle a couple times in each direction. And just notice, like, click, does it glide? Does it move? Does it hurt? And of course, if it hurts, backing off. And then we're going to release that hand and take the second foot into your lap. And again, same thing, stretch out the toes, massage the top and bottom of the foot. So much information here, like notice how it feels. Eventually getting to a place where we're gonna lace those fingers in the bottom of the foot and roll through the top of the foot, roll through the ankle. Now, again, when you feel done, and I know all of the stuff we could do, we could stay for a long time and do it. We're going to take that foot, right, whichever one you're working on, and we're gonna hold it and start to rock, and you'll use this bottom leg as your anchor, right? And we're just gonna rock back and forth, and you're noticing how does this feel in the hip and the low back, right? That was one of the things that we talked about. And you might not even feel like any sensation, and that's okay. You're just exploring. How does it feel? And then we're gonna take that foot and you're gonna place it to the inside of the thigh. If your knee is up in the air, you're gonna put a block underneath it. And let's take those hands onto your thigh so your foot's flexed like you're standing on it. Hands on the thigh, you're gonna inhale up and exhale, slide down. Moving with your breath, inhaling up, exhaling, sliding down. Noticing all those wonderful sensations as you move. Not forcing anything. Now this next time, let's stay down in your forward bend in a comfortable place. And breathing and seeing if you can relax just a little bit. And on an inhale, let's slide on up. And you're going to take that knee and point it up towards the sky. And take that same side hand, bring it behind us. And I like to use that hand to help us sit up nice and tall. And you're going to take your straight leg hand, inhale up, exhale. And remember that we're just warming up, so I don't want you to go super deep. I mean, you work with your body, but we're going to work the belly towards the inner thigh and use your hand on the outside of the knee to help you. And especially because a number of you talked about your back body, paying attention to how it feels as you move into this twist. And then notice, take a couple of nice deep breaths and notice how it feels as you breathe in this twisted position. And you may find as we stay here for a few breaths that you want to deepen as you stay, and you may not. Now on an inhale, when you're ready, we're going to lengthen the spine, exhale, come forward, straighten out that bent leg, and then we're going to reach for our second leg. And just start by gently rocking. No rush, but again, you're noticing you feel this in your hip, in your low back. If anything, what are you feeling? And then after you've done your exploration, we'll place that foot on the inner thigh. And on this side, I do actually like to use a block because my knee doesn't go all the way down on that side. And we're going to take our hands onto our thigh. This foot is flexed and our straight leg. Inhale up and exhale, slide down. And moving with your breath, inhaling up, exhaling down. We get so much information from these gentle gliding motions. Now the next time that you come forward, find a comfortable place in your forward bend. Some long, smooth breaths. And on one of these inhales, bringing yourself all the way up, and then we're going to take that knee and point it up towards the sky. Bent knee hand behind us so that you press down, get your spine nice and long. Inhale, straight leg arm comes up. Exhale, bring that hand towards your knee and bring your belly towards the inner thigh. Finding that comfortable place. Long, smooth breaths. Noticing if you want to adjust or backing off. Breathing. And again, on one of your inhales, we're going to lengthen the spine, exhale, come forward, and we're going to bring in your other leg. So now we're sitting with the bottoms of our feet together, and we're going to move with our breath. So some of you might like a little something under your bottom if you find yourself kind of rounding through your back. So inhale is going to be our knees out, arms up. Exhale, knees come together, arms come down. Inhale up, exhale down. And if you feel like you need more space, it would be okay to move your feet away from your body. It would be okay to have something underneath your hips, because we're looking for comfort and ease as we move through our poses. And we do this a lot of times laying down on our backs, so notice how it feels to do it in a seated position. All right, last one. Inhale up, and then exhale, come forward over your feet, elbows in towards your body. You might open up your feet like you're reading a book. I like to put my thumbs on the padded part under the toes, and reach your forehead towards the feet and breathe. And always making sure when we're in these, especially deep forward bends, that you can still breathe fully. On an inhale, we're going to come up and bring those knees together. And I think from here we're going to stand up. And what I want you to have close by would be a block and a strap and one tennis ball, because when we stand up, let's roll our feet for just a moment. So come on up and find your tennis ball. Already I'm getting hot. We haven't even started big movements. So rolling your feet just for a moment. If you don't have tennis balls, you can drive your feet to the floor. Always use your hands. And then switching feet. So where I want to start, I want you to take your block and we're going to put it between our thighs and explore and see what position feels good. Some people will like it on the second position, some people will like it on the first, but the idea is that you have some resistance, you're pressing into the block, and then we're going to take our strap and hold it in front, about shoulder distance apart. And you could interlink your fingers here. I like to use the strap to give us some more movement through our shoulders. So inhale, we're going to take the strap up over the back. Now we're going to sit into a little chair position. Not going for our deepest position. And you're noticing how it feels. Inhale is up, exhale is down. Now, if any of the things that I don't do, anything that I do today doesn't work for you, it's okay to modify anything. One of the things I'm going to invite you is to let those hips go a little bit and to use your core here to help strengthen that low back and your abdominals. One more time, and we're going to hold this next position. So come to a place that you feel comfortable in, and then you're going to explore the possibility of lifting your heels up off there. The sides of the front of your foot, your knees are bent, your ankles, your hips, you're breathing. And then, if you're ready on an exhale, heels come down, hands to your legs, slide down into your forward bend. You can leave the strap down here. And so now we're squeezing that block between our legs. Your hands are on the floor. You might need to bend your knees to get your hand on the floor. We're going to inhale, straight legs, exhale, bend the knees. We're going to try to keep the arms stationary, right? So not bending the elbows, just bending the ankles, knees, and hips. You could have your hands on blocks or a block. Now next time those legs are straight, let's bring the hands onto the legs and inhale, come on up. I'm warm. I'm like laughing at it. I don't know if the room's warm or just okay. Now let's bring that block into our hands. And of course, I like to do it the long way, and some, if you're broad, you might have a longer block too. We have some in the back. So yeah, you keep their hip width apart. We're gonna keep the feet flat at first. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend the elbows, take the block back. Inhale up. Exhale, arms come down. Now, as you're doing this, some of us want to take our elbows like this when we bend back. I want you to try to keep your elbows towards your head, right? And you're just moving with your breath. Now, if it's safe and inviting, the next time that you come up, you might come up onto your toes, the block comes up, elbows bend, inhale, block up, exhale, heels down and arms down. So definitely bring heels down in between reps. Right? So inhale up, exhale, bend the knee, the elbow, inhale up, comes up, exhale, heels down, arms down. One more time. Breath. And then down here, you can step block for a moment, roll through your shoulders. How are we all feeling? Okay so far? All right, now let's interlace those fingers. We're going to take the palms down. Feet comfortable distance apart. We're going to bring those hands up to shoulder height. I like to keep a little bend in my ankles, my hips, and my knees. So not a deep bend, but just a little bit. So it feels a little looser to me. So inhale is going to be center. Exhale, you're going to twist gently. Inhale back to the center and then second side. And you're moving slowly and noticing how this feels in that upper body all the way down to your hips. Rush, exploration. You might notice like one knee kind of moves forward as you're twisting. You're just noticing what happens with your body and your breath as you move. Next time you come to that right side and you come to the center, you're going to release the hands, roll through those shoulders. And then what I want you to do is find your left foot on the ground, and we're going to start to lift up that right knee. Your hand, you could have a hand on the wall, you could have them in the air. Now we have the knee bent, and I want you to point and flex your foot and then roll through your ankle a couple times in each direction. And then we're going to, if possible, take one or both hands onto the back of the upper leg, and you're going to straighten and bend that leg. So you could have one hand on the wall as we're doing this. Put down. Don't force or rush. So that can be intensive on the low back. So I want you to pay attention. So an option would be not to be holding the leg up in the air. I'll do that modification on this side. So weight in the right foot, left knee comes up, point and flex. So I could be down here. I could have one hand on something. And when I straighten the leg, I can straighten towards the floor instead of holding it up. Because the higher I hold up that leg, the more it's going to intensify in the low back. So pay attention to that. And then after you've straightened 2 times, we're going to bring that foot down. Take your feet maybe as wide as your mat, hands on the outside of your legs. Connect with your breath. We're going to slide from side to side. Inhale, center. I feel like we haven't done this in a while. Now, if you want, you can start to slide that outside elbow up. And then some of you may even want to extend that arm all the way up in line with your ear. And the last part would be if you want to look towards that arm. The whole time you're moving with your breath, exploring, noticing how everything feels as you're moving. Now, next time you finish that second side, we're gonna pause for a moment, take your hands wherever they're comfortable, bend in the ankles, knees, and toes, and I want you to roll through those hips a couple times in each direction. This is a nice gentle way to stretch those muscles around the pelvis. All right. Now, you're going to, and sometimes I like to do this with a wall. So I'll show you, and then you'll decide if you want to move to a wall or if you want to do it in the center of the room. If you're using a wall, you stand about a foot away from the wall, arms are at your side. Inhale, you take one arm up, you're reaching towards the wall, head turns away from the arm. Exhale, head back to center. And you alternate sides. Inhale, exhale, you're back at your starting position. Continue to breathe. One more time on each side. And then we're gonna pause for a moment. And now we're gonna keep our face pointing forward. You're not gonna turn your head this time. And inhale, you're gonna reach both arms up and exhale back to neutral. Inhale up, and you probably feel that little lengthening in the back body as you're reaching those arms up. Not forcing anything. One more time. Beautiful. And then we're going to take the hands onto the thighs. Inhale, body up. Exhale down into your forward bend. And then here, let's go halfway up. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale a little bit more deeply into your legs. And again, you're noticing how your body feels as you're moving with your breath. Then on one of those inhales, let's come all the way up. And you could have one heel on a wall, or you can have your heel towards the back. So if you want that assistance of the wall, take that heel back to the wall. And let's start with our left foot back and step forward with your right foot so the feet are hip width apart. And then about a leg's distance, right? And then let's bend that front knee, and your knee is over your ankle. So if your knee is coming over your foot, then you need a longer stance, okay? So now with the knee bent, we're gonna bend those elbows in line with the shoulder. Inhale is here. Exhale, you're gonna straighten the leg and extend the arms. I'll show you at the side too. Inhale, exhale. Move with your breath. Rather, I'd like to have you a longer. Yeah, there, try that. Yeah, that looks better. And it's not just about how it looks, just in case anybody misunderstood that. It looks more comfortable in her body. Okay, now next time we're with our knee bent and our elbows bent, we're gonna relax those arms, maybe bring them to your heart center, or maybe you're gonna bring them down onto your thigh. I'll show you both. We're gonna inhale here, bend that front knee. Exhale, you're either gonna twist around, take your elbow to the outside, or you're gonna take your hands to the outside of the thigh. You're twisting belly towards that inner thigh. Other way. Nope, your body the other way. Body that way. There, that way. All right, now on an inhale, let's unwind our body. We're gonna step that back foot forward. Find your balance. Connect with your breath. How's everybody feeling? I know. If it gets really warm, you can't turn the fans on. We're gonna step back with the other foot now. Again, if you want to use the wall, you could have your heel on the back of the wall. And check out how you are, right? Your feet hip width apart this way, legs distance lengthwise, knee bent over the ankle. Bend those elbows up in line with your shoulders. Inhale is here. Exhale, extend. Moving with your breath. No rush. Noticing how it feels as you move. We'll do 2 more. And then we'll pause. See that little visitor out there? Just keep showing. Okay, so here, inhale, and then you're either going to take your hands to the heart center, elbow to the outside of the knee, or hands on your thigh. Long, smooth breaths, don't force anything. You're noticing how it feels and only moving to a place that feels really good. Beautiful. Now on an inhale, we'll unwind, bring those hands to the heart center, and step that back foot forward. Relax those arms to your sides. Take a moment to connect with your breath, roll through those shoulders, and I just want you to do a quick scan from head to toe, how your body is feeling. And then for this next pose, after you've done your observation, you could turn around and use the bar or the wall, have your hands on it, or you can be in the center of the room. We're going to cross, find my balance while I'm talking. We're going to cross that left foot over the right knee, hands to the heart center. Your foot is flexed, and you're going to start to sit like you're putting your bottom into a chair. At the wall, you would have your hands on the wall and sit back, right? And you're not forcing. You could also have your hips, I have to find where the wall is, resting on the wall with your hands at your heart center. You're finding that place that works for you. Breathing, your head follows the direction of your body. Beautiful. Now, some of you may start to work your forearms towards your shin and even wrap your foot around the outside of your elbow. The next step would even be to bring your hands towards the ground. You're not forcing anything. You're working in a way that works for your body. Now on an inhale in your own time, not rushing. When you're ready, you're going to start to make your way up. Uncross your legs, bring your hands onto your thighs. Inhale up. Exhale, slide into your forward. And just do that a few times with your breath. Coming back to our center. And then the next time that you're up, and you're going to let go of like how awesome or how much that sucked or whatever's going through your head, and we're going to do the second side, right? So again, use that wall either behind you or in front of you or be out in the center of the room. Weight on your left foot as the right foot crosses over. Hands to your heart center or on the bar or the wall, and then gently sitting back. And we move one step at a time, right? You're checking in with your breath, with your body. Does my body want to go further right now? Possibly you start to bring those forearms near the shin. Maybe your foot wraps around the outside. Maybe your hands come towards the ground. Not forcing anything. Continuing to breathe. Making sure your body feels okay with whatever you choose. And again, in your own time, when you're ready, you'll very slowly, carefully start to make your way up, eventually placing your feet on the ground and your hands on your legs. Inhaling, body up, exhaling down towards the ground. All right, so we're going to make our way towards the ground, and some of you may like to be at the wall when we do this one, and some of you will, again, want to be at your mat, and I'm going to ask you to use a blanket under your knees. We're going to come down to the ground on our knees. So your thigh bones are perpendicular to the ground, and they stay that way the whole time. Right, so we're not sitting our butt down onto our heels. Right? And if you were at the wall, I would have you with your thighs at the wall, so that you have the support of the wall. Okay. And then I like the toes turned under, so you're getting a nice stretch in your foot. But if that hurts anyone, then do your feet the other way. So our arms are at our sides. You're going to follow your hands with your eyes. So the inhale, one arm comes up, and you're only going back as far as you comfortably can with your eyes, and then we'll alternate sides. You're just moving with your breath. There's no rush here. You're paying attention to what's happening throughout your body. Now, if you have trouble being on your knees, you could absolutely do this sitting on your butt or standing up. So the arm movement is the same one that we did when we were standing up at the wall. Moving with that breath, noticing how it feels. And the next time that you finish that second side, we're going to pause for a moment and then bring the hands towards the lower back with the elbows pressing towards one another. Now for some of us, this is going to be the pose right here, right? Your hands are pressing in and kind of down to keep that lengthening in the low back, because we don't want the low back to scrunch up, and your elbows are pressing together, opening up that chest. Some of you might start to lean back a little bit, but don't, it's not this, that's not the pose, right? It's leaning with your body. And unless you have total control of your head, I don't want you to drop your head down. Not that you don't have control over your, but like I'm talking about the strength in your neck muscles and the weight of the head, right? Now, after a couple of breaths in your place, so some of you might bring your hands to your thighs, some of you might bring your hands to your heels, but you're keeping these femur bones perpendicular. Don't go any further than it feels good. And then on an inhale, you'll come up, and then exhale, let's do like a puppy pose so that your butt stays up in the air and your forehead comes down towards the ground. So it's not a child's pose where you're bringing your hips towards your heels. And then I want you to feel your hands on the ground, because we're going to lift our body up and then reach your hips towards the floor. Make sure that you're not forcing anything. And then one more time, come back towards your puppy pose. And then we'll walk the hands back, bring our body up, and do the pose one more time. So again, you have an option. If you don't like the hands on the low back and coming down into Ustrasana or camel, you can look at your hands and extend them back, right? Always, always options. And if you're not liking being on your knees, I gave you your options there. All right, so you're finding that place, softening your shoulders away from the ears, lengthening the low back. And then on an inhale when you're ready. I see some of you doing the moving one. So let's take another breath here. Make sure that you do both sides evenly. And then we're going to inhale the body up. And this time come down into a full child's pose, whatever that means to you. So it might be a block under your head, arms at the sides or arms extended. Finding that place with where the back body is rounded. Breathe easily. Now from here, when you're ready, we're going to come down onto our belly. I'm trying to decide what's the best way for you all to see. So we're going to come onto our belly, and here in this next pose, you're going to have your body weight and gravity working together. So I don't want anybody to force anything. We're going to start with your left arm extended out in front. And then you're going to start to bring that right arm underneath. And again, like with all the poses, right? For some of you, this is going to be your pose right here. Some of you are going to walk that arm all the way across and start to walk. I just realized you can't see me. Walk your other arm all the way over. This is a true yoga pretzel pose, right? Don't force anything. Find a position. We're going to stay for a few breaths, so find a position that feels good, right? Without forcing anything. That's the key here. No forcing. You're relaxed if you can. Relax your pelvis, your butt, your throat. I haven't done this one in a long time either. Find a place where it feels okay. Now, we're going to undo those arms. And this time we'll leave that left arm out in front. And again, this side could be totally different. We're going to start to walk that left arm under. And again, you find that spot where you're like, oh, this is as far as I want to go, right? No forcing. And then possibly starting to walk that second arm over top. And you're going to breathe and soften. And again, relax your butt and your belly and your legs. And it may not feel like it now, but this is really nice for relieving tension in the upper back body. So again, in your own time, we're going to unwind those arms and then bring them out to the sides, forehead towards the ground. And let's make our way up onto our fingertips with our elbows bent. I always think of a gecko when I do this. Now, I want you to gently press those fingertips into the ground, and then noticing how, if you're going to do this, how you can lift your head and shoulders without engaging the arms, right? And it might be a teeny tiny movement. So we're going to lift the upper body up on the inhale, exhale down. And we're just trying to move through the spine without using those hands. Beautiful. And then let's walk the arms out to the sides. So they're out like the letter T, right? And then again, we're going to come up onto those fingertips and lift your upper body up as you walk those fingertips in a little bit. And you're making sure there's no discomfort in your back body. On an exhale, Come on down and we'll bring the hands in line with the chest. And then next is going to be, you're gonna bend your knees and flex your feet and inhale the upper body up. That's our inhale. Exhale, hands down, face down, legs down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come down. And you could do this with straight legs as well. But especially because so many of you talked about your low backs, if your low back is in any sort of discomfort, please bend your knees as you do this little vinyasa. One more time, inhaling up, exhaling down. And you're gonna relax and notice how you feel. Wiggle your butt from side to side. And then very carefully, we're gonna make our way up onto our elbows. What some of you probably know as Sphinx pose. Your elbows are about as wide as your shoulders or a little bit wider, palms are down. And what I like to do here is pull those forearms and elbows towards the body so it helps to lengthen the front of the body a little bit more, like I feel it into my diaphragm, just below my rib cage. And then if it's comfortable, again, you're gonna bend those knees. So now you're reaching your head and your shoulders towards your feet. Not like they're gonna come together, but energetic in my world. And then when you feel like you're ready, and you keep breathing, right? We're holding the pose, but you're still breathing. When you're ready, you're going to gently release the feet, and we're gonna push ourselves back and end up on our back body with our knees in towards our chest. So bring yourself up, and then carefully make your way onto your back body and bring those knees in towards your chest. Probably didn't think we'd ever get here. Or maybe that was just me. All right, so now that you're on your back, your knees are towards your chest, I want you to explore what would feel really good right now, right? Do you want to hug those knees in tightly? Do you want to move the knees in a circular motion? Do you want to move front to back with your knees? So truly exploring what feels good, because we want to relax the low back to the ground right now. Now, eventually, let's come to a place where your thighs are perpendicular to the ground and your hands are pressing on your thighs. The lower, the lower legs are parallel with the floor. So this is going to be and there's isometrically, you're pressing your hands into your thighs, thighs into your hands. So this is a wonderful way to strengthen the core, and you might even feel it as you're pressing the hands into the thighs, thighs into your hands. Now, you're gonna see if you can keep those isometrics as we inhale with the thighs perpendicular to the floor, and exhale, take them in towards your inhale, extend perpendicular, exhale, knees towards the chest. Just moving with your breath so we can strengthen the front and the back body at the same time as we're giving like the low back a little massage almost. Beautiful. Now, when you feel complete, because that takes a lot of work, right? We're going to take one foot down to the ground at a time, and your knees are bent, your ankles are touching, arms are at your sides. You're connected to your breath and relaxing. And we're almost right back to where we started, right? We're going to inhale those arms up overhead, open the knees out to the sides, and then exhale, knees back together, arms down. Moving with your breath, inhale, arms overhead, knees open out to the sides. Exhale, knees together, arms come down. Nice, just moving with your breath, no rush. Noticing how your body responds, how your breath is moving. Now, next time your arms are at your side and your knees are bent, let's walk the arms out like a T. And we're going to bring the knees to one side and your head to the other side. Inhale back to the center, and then exhale, second side. Inhale, head and knees back to the center. We're alternating with the breath, taking the head and knees in opposite directions. Now, next time we're back at center with our knees and our head, we're going to try it a little bit differently. So you're going to inhale here, and you're going to exhale, head and knees go in opposite directions. Inhale again, exhale back to the center. So you're only going to move on the exhale. Inhale, center, exhale, take the second side. Inhale, exhale, back to the center. You have to put a little more thought into it. Inhale in the center, exhale, first side, inhale, exhale, back to the center. Inhale, exhale, down to the side. It helps to slow us down a little bit. Inhale, exhale, back to the center. One more time on each side, moving only on the exhale. And when we end up back in the center, this is where I want you to check in and ask yourself, is there anything else, a restorative pose, a stretch, anything that you would like to do before you make your way into Shavasana? And this is a great time to ask your body, body, what do you need right now? And then go ahead and do that, whatever it is. And if you need suggestions, those of you in the room, please just let me know. I'm happy to help. And so, as you're doing that, I want you to think, what position would help you to feel really wonderful in Shavasana, right? You want to make sure you're completely supported. And we talked about, mostly the neck, shoulders, and the back body. So how can you make sure that your whole spine is supported, right? What would feel really good to you? Again, if you want some suggestions, let me know. Sure about that one? I'm coming over there. All right, so in your time, get yourself ready. I am here to assist. That's good. And then what we're going to do is this here. Yeah. So you got your today? Okay. Really? That's a long time. Yes. All right. So settling in. Long, smooth breaths. And as you exhale, inviting the body to soften. So as you start to bring your awareness to the room, I'm going to invite you to stay as you are, and let's do a little practice while you're on your backs. So if you have any glasses on, I'm going to ask you to take them off for a moment. In your own time, of course, and then we're going to rub the hands together and get them warm. And then cupping the hands so there's no pressure on the eyes. You're going to place the heels of your hands on your cheekbones and the fingertips on your forehead, and point your elbows up towards the sky, because you want to not worry about holding your arms up. Maybe rest them on your chest if you can. And you might add a little outward pressure from the heels of your hands to open the sinuses a little bit, but there's absolutely no pressure on the eyeballs. None at all. And your eyes are closed and you have the darkness of the lids in your hands. And then with your breath, on an inhale with the eyes closed, we're going to look up towards, if you're trying to look up towards your brain or your eyebrows. Exhale back to the center. Inhale, eyes, both eyes look to the right. Exhale back to center. Next inhale, eyes look down like you're trying to look towards your mouth. Exhale back to center. Inhale, eyes look, both of them to the left. Exhale back to center. Inhale, looking up. Exhale down. Inhale, looking left. Exhale back to the center. Inhale, looking down. Exhale back to the center. And then inhale, looking to the right. And back to the center. And then we're going to pause here for a moment and see if you can relax. Just feel the warmth of your hands. This is a wonderful exercise for those of us who are looking at screens often. And you can do this as a little break anytime during the day just by itself. Now, when you're ready to release your hands, keep your eyes closed so that you can kind of get used to the light. And then when you're ready to begin to move, noticing how you're feeling in the moment. And then when you're ready to start moving, you might wiggle and stretch, and you might bend your knees and roll to the side. You might stay on your back for a few more moments. And always, if you have questions about any of the things that we do in class, you can always ask me. So I'm curious, give me a little thumbs up. How are the backs doing? So this is awesome. This is not so good. It's a nice way for me to get feedback. All right, so let's just bring our hands to our heart center and take that moment to connect with your breath and your body. Hopefully you've scanned through and you're seeing how you're feeling. Let's close with a nice Om. So inhaling. Thank you all for being here, and thank my teachers for all of the amazing